turn our attention towards the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. A young man behind us got his first pole position in Cooper Barnes. He called the track skinny. One would suggest skinny means in this 86 Championship race up today, not too much passing going on, maybe except at the start into turn one.
Yeah, I'd say there's going to be a bit going on at turn one because all these drivers know how tough it is to pass around this place. It's going to go one or two ways. It's either going to settle down nicely because it's so tight, or there's going to be some frustrated drivers. We've seen Hugo Allen. He is way down. Championship leader starting at a 21st position.
Yeah, and his challenger 57 points behind is Hayden Baccaris, who is in P10. He was frustrated. He thought he had troubles in turn 2. Well, why don't we see what turn 2 and turn 5 and 6 like as well with a hot lap for Thronen.
Hey guys, welcome aboard the GR Supra for a lap of Teretonga Park here in Invercargill. So we're heading down the front straight here. It's a huge long front straight here in Invercargill. Massive big brake zone down here at turn 1. Most cars will be looking to brake around the 100 mark. Turning the car in, getting right in towards the white line. The car starts to separate away from the white line on the exit, on the middle of the corner. Picking the power up on the exit there. It's such a long corner here. So we go do a full 180 degrees, get out to the concrete ripple on the outside there, down towards turn 2. Braking the car nice and straight, using the camber to help turn it in. Turn 3, up through the S's. Getting as close as we can to those ripples without touching them. Come through here, through. Down to the third to last corner, hard braking zone. Use the camber, get the power down early. Out onto the exit, the concrete curbing there. Come through the kink, the second to last corner. Coming down to the last corner, the big mighty hairpin. Getting the car slowed right down, turning it in, 90-degree corner. Staying off the curbing, getting the power down. Using the concrete on the exit there. Thanks for riding aboard with us here in the GR Supra here at Teretonga Park.
Yeah, it's a tricky little circuit, and Ronan alongside me, Jonathan Green, right now, and that was great because you get to see it in all its glory, but it's one of those places where it's easy to do a lap, it's hard to do a fast lap and go quicker than everybody else, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly takes a bit of courage, let's say, to do a fast lap around Teretonga Park, but obviously all these 86 drivers this morning we saw in qualifying, Jonathan, they all did a fantastic job, and you know, really from the fastest car to the slowest car in the field, the margins were so tight. So it was great to see, you know, just over, you know, pretty much a second covering the entire field. So that's incredible, and in today's, you know, modern era of car racing, it truly is remarkable. So great job from everybody, and we're looking forward to a great race 1 coming up very shortly.
Well, you're talking of remarkable, the biggest story coming out of that, well, 2 stories. We heard one, Cooper Barnes with his first ever pole position. Let's take a look at the grid. There you go, confirmation, the Aussie on pole in the 186. Justin Allen, 3rd in the championship, alongside him. Then Chris White and Cameron Hill. Josh Bethune in 5th. And Cormac Murphy making a really good run at 6th place. He topped the times earlier in the weekend. Lines, Evernet, also from Australia. Byers, Hayden Baccaris in the run for the championship. Blake Knowles and Simon Hunter, the master, in 12th position. Emerson Vincent and Jet Murray. Then Harry Townsend on the podium last time out. And Thomas Mallard, Zach Blinko, and Dion Pitt returning to the fold after a few years. Braun, Christina Orr West, Hugo Allen, the championship leader, down in 21st. That's a story. Raymond Mallon, then Potter and AJ Giddy, the youngest competitor, and then finally Will Morton, another Kiwi, in 25th places. 25 cars. It's going to be busy crosstown traffic out there. But what has happened to Hugo Allen?
Yeah, it's certainly quite perplexing, isn't it, Jonathan? You know, the championship leader down there in 21st. I briefly just saw him just as we were coming over to jump in the box for this, get ready for this race, and he just sort of said, "Hey, it is what it is. We'll get on with it and see what we can do." So you know, he didn't have a great qualifying result at the last round either, but he certainly made amends for it and actually finished the weekend with a podium. So I'm sure he'll be looking to do the same again. Another one noticeable was Arthur Braun, our pole sitter from last time out. He was down the bottom, but I think we're going to shoot down to Rusty in the lane and catch up on what's going on down there.
Ronan, just on that point, I've had a quick word to Johnny McIntyre. Stay out of trouble is the go for Arthur Braun here, and concentrate on lap time, he says. Remember, it's the quickest times in races 1 and 2 that helps sort our grid for race 3. That is what Arthur Braun is going to fundamentally go after in this one.
All eyes on Cooper Barnes, his first ever pole position at circuit racing. What a moment for this young man. And the Australian enjoying his time here. We've got 3 Australians out there. Hugo Allen has got some work to do because he's only got a 52-point lead. Justin Allen will be sensing in that Napa blue and yellow car that you see on the front row. A real opportunity here. This is a specialist track for Justin. I expect him to get the better of Cooper Barnes, but you never say never.
Yeah, absolutely. And how good is it just to see a full grid, a 25-car grid of GR86s out there, Jonathan? It's just awesome to see, and see everyone made the trip down here to Invercargill to run this round of the championship. But looks like we're not too far away from a start.
Justin Allen already getting the intimidators out because he's put the headlights on, and he is ready to race. Watch him on the left-hand side of your screen. Slight breeze here, long run to that first corner, and it's he who dares wins. The lights are on. And they go, and away we go. Justin Allen does get the run, does get the jump at the start on Cooper Barnes, and away goes Allen into the lead as they run down the long way of 15 laps now down to the first corner, but Justin Allen takes the lead away from the pole man. Cooper Barnes dives into turn 1, and a good clean start. Chris White there in 3rd position, Cameron Hill, Bethune, then Cormac Murphy in 6th. Evanet in 7th place as they file through, jostling for position as they head out of the loop. And, oh, somebody going slightly wide there, but gathers it all together into the right-hander and through to the snake for the first time.
Yeah, pretty clean start for everybody. It actually looked like Cormac Murphy lost a couple of positions there. So Simon Hunter getting fed out wide a little bit there, and another one of the race lap cars. As we look further back, Chris White Jr. with a great pass on Cooper Barnes there. So he's now just taken over that 2nd place.
Yeah, he packed and saved that one, didn't he? Nicely done. 2nd place then, Justin Allen with the lights blazing into the elbow for the first time. Hard on the anchors. Justin Allen, a specialist around this circuit, loves it. Sat out the final practice yesterday afternoon. I said, what's up with the car? And he said, nothing. Just didn't feel like going out. So he's pretty cool, calm and collected. But the whole field filing through and onto the main straight as Justin Allen starts to build on that lead in the Napa car.
And look at that gaggle of cars all together, running together, coming up the front straight there. There's about 5 or 6 of them all in a double train, almost like NASCAR racing, John.
That's awesome.
We see there the championship leader, Hugo Allen. He's going up the inside of Zach Blinko there. So he's, I believe, moved up a few positions.
He's gone up to 17th, actually, and set the fastest lap on that opening lap. So good start from the number 17. We'll be watching him closely as into the dust and dirt, creating chaos for those behind. But luckily, I think everybody got through that, but through they go again. But that was a little bit of a moment, and yeah, sure enough, Hugo Allen up to 17th place. He's got Hayden Lyons and Zach Blinko ahead of him.
And Lyons looks like he's got an issue out there. He's running, he's dropped right off the field. So something's happened to Hayden Lyons' car. Clearly an issue of some sorts. But going back, Hugo Allen, championship leader, fastest lap of the race on lap 1. So he's showing he means business out there. So look back down towards the further front of the field there. There's a bit of defence going on. Lachlan Evanet defending from Hayden Baccaris and Cormac Murphy. Caleb Byers right in behind him, and Simon Hunter rounding off that train as we head off for another lap up the front straight.
And Justin Allen did start to build on that lead and does go quickest, but Chris White goes even quicker, a 107.8. So he's catching on our leader, Justin Allen, and it's Cameron Hill now up to 3rd. Bethune 4, Barnes drops to 5th, and Evanet still holding on to 6th place.
The championship leader again trying another move on Blake Knowles there. So Hugo Allen, he's carving through the field at the moment. He's got Jet Murray in his sights next, the youngster from Australia. As we look further forward there, someone's had a big off there.
You can't go that far.
That's way off in the gravel trap. It looks like he's managed to gather it up.
Yep.
That's the 8 car of Thomas Mallard. So huge off there. Great job to save that and keep going. He's now got Arthur Braun in behind him there. So Braun hasn't seemed to have been able to make as well a progress as what our championship leader has, who's now up into 15th. But looking further back there, there's Christina All-West, followed by the youngest driver in the field, as you said, AJ Giddy. We look at a replay here, so he's just, yeah, too much throttle there for young Thomas on the exit there, and the car's just fed wide.
A heart attack.
Yeah, that's not too pleasant. But at the moment, Chris White's got the fastest lap of the race with a 107.8, and he's closing in on our
race leader, Justin Allen, who's got the headlights on, even though he's out in the lead by himself. But
wasting electricity there because there's nobody to flash him at.
yeah, we know how hard this circuit is to pass at, and at the moment, Chris White made that beautiful move on Cooper Barnes to take that third place, but now he's all over the back of Justin Allen. Are we going to see a move coming up? Justin Allen, we know what he's like. He's a very experienced racer. He's very good on the defence, very good at making his car look wide.
Well, let me ask you this, Ronan. When you're that close, like Chris White is, how in these cars, they're evenly yoked, they're almost identical, frankly, except for the odd adjustments to PSI and maybe here and there, but how do you make a move? How do you make a pass?
Well, this is where we see the cream of the crop shine, Jonathan, because the guys that can make up those little incremental differences, whether it's under brakes or it's on the power, rolling mid-corner speed, if you can do that better than the guy ahead, that's what's going to win you a car race or get you a podium or get you the result that you want. So at the moment, those guys out the front, they're demonstrating how it's done. Justin Allen's done a great job to come off that last corner and actually pull a little bit of a gap on Chris White Jr. So he's going to be doing everything he can to stay in that tow. Cameron Hill's done a great job to stay with them there in third place. Josh Bethune's moved up into fourth, and our pole sitter, Cooper Barnes, has actually dropped to fifth. So that's quite surprising, you know, considering he didn't get the best of starts, and obviously that momentum that he didn't sort of get off the lines really hurt him.
Meanwhile, Hugo Allen, our championship leader, is making hay. He's up to what? Yes, and here comes the move for the lead, and he's got him.
Round the outside.
Lovely.
What a pass from Chris White Jr. Beautiful move. Round the outside at turn 2. Certainly not a textbook pass, but man, it worked, and he did a brilliant job. Justin gave him the room, so credit to him for giving him the space. But here now, he's on the defensive, and Justin's doing everything he can to try and get that spot back.
Yeah, that was a surprise move. You very rarely see an overtake there, let alone for the lead, and that was a great move. But Justin Allen will be kicking himself because he knows this is his real opportunity, perhaps for the whole championship. He sits third at the moment, and as Hugo Allen creeps up the field, he's gaining more and more points. Allen wanted this race to be his own, take the win, and absolutely narrow the gap on Hugo Allen. Now he's coming back down the long straight. Does he jink out? Can he go around the outside? Is there a line there?
Justin Allen's certainly not taking this one rolling down. He's certainly having another crack, and he's gotten through there. Beautiful line through turn 1. He's going to get the apex late, and he's going to chase after Chris White. But Chris White Jr. got a really good exit as well, and he's actually pulled a half-watt car with gap on Justin Allen there. Justin's very good down there at turn 2. A little bit of flames coming out of the back of the 99 Napa car. So we see there Cameron Hill and Josh Bethune are closing in on these guys as well.
Let's get down to the lane with Rusty.
Jonathan, I'm with a pretty gutted Hayden Lyons. What's happened to the 35 that retired from the race?
Yeah, on the first lap, we lost fourth gear up the last corner. The whole first lap, we could tell something wasn't quite right with it, but it's pretty unlucky, but credit to guys at Right Cars by M2 competition. They gave me a fast car all weekend long. It's just very unlucky for today.
Thanks to Greg Russ there in pit lane as they come on to... And we've got a red flag!
What's happened there?
So everything slows down. Red flag is out.
Wow, okay, so that's very late in the piece. That's, luckily the field's all seen it and then managed to pull up. Oh! Huge accident. Simon Hunter. Massive crash. So we've unfortunately not seen when that's occurred, but
that's a big
that's
off.
a
It looks as though he's
huge
rolled
accident.
it, you know. He's rolled that.
That's had a serious impact with the side of the circuit. That's over at the top corner over there. Third to last corner.
Crash. That's one of our
Far out.
masters, of course, coming in this year. He's a Formula Ford specialist, so this is all relatively new to him, but learning his way, and one of 3 masters in the field right now. John Penny not here this weekend, so Hunter was hoping to make up some points, but that's not the way to do it, and unfortunately, you can see where the trail is from where he's bounced into the mud wall, effectively.
And I would not be surprised if he's been unloaded into there, Jonathan, by another competitor.
Could be, yeah. He's tapped against somebody else and that sent him off, yeah.
Yeah, that's not usually somewhere where you go in by yourself or make a mistake. So we'll have to wait and see if we can see a replay of that one to figure out exactly what happened. But up until then, it was a great race between the Bridgestone GR86s. I really hope Simon Hunter's okay. That was clearly a big hit. That's actually punched the rear windshield out of it, so that's a huge
I described
hit.
it as a mud wall, but of course it's full of tyres, so that's
Earth-filled
actually
tyres.
a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a heavy, heavy hit for the 42. And sadly, we have come to a grinding halt here in race 1. And at the time, Simon was in the top 10, 10th place. But it was pretty crowded back there, and I agree with you. I think there's been some coming together there.
Simon hasn't actually gotten out of the car yet, so I really hope. Great to see the team down there from here, all the volunteers down there doing what they can to try and clean up the mess. But hopefully we can get an update soon to make sure he's okay, because that would have been.
See him talking. That's good.
Yeah, but usually in most instances you would have probably been able to get out of the car by now. So hopefully he's okay.
I'm guessing that the door's stuck as well. It's taken a big hit, so
yeah.
he may not be able to open that door.
Very true. Good point.
So the Bridgestones start to cool down a little bit, and what was a frenetic start to this one has come to an abrupt halt.
Oh, he's out of the car now. I can see him walking around. So good to see Simon Hunter. He's all good, but yeah, there he is there. But very disappointing for him. And
yeah, you could see a bit of shock on his face.
No, never want to see an incident of that size. Car's got him very hard.
Nice guy. Got a chance to catch up with him and really enjoying the opportunity. I said, "Why do you want to fight against these youngsters?" And he says, "You know, it keeps me sharp. I enjoy it." And he goes, "I can sort of test myself a little bit. I like the car. He enjoys driving the car." And he knows it's a highly competitive field of youngsters. And there is, of course, that Masters prize to be had. And I think he'll give John Penny a good run for his money. But obviously Penny not racing. But that is a big off. But, again, shows the safety of the 86. The cage has done its job, has protected him well. He took a heavy hit there. And now we await Justin Allen. By the way, who's just turned Japanese. I asked him about that. Alan-san, his new name. I said, why have you got a Japanese? He goes, I didn't. I think he said one of my mechanics did it. I think he said, but I'm channeling my inner Japanese. He says,
his inner samurai.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, hopefully the team look like they're onto it right now, and hopefully they can get the incident down there cleared, and we can, hopefully get back to a restart in somewhat of a green flag conditions. But that's gonna take a bit of work to get off the circuit there. It looks like the crane's down there, so they're going to be trying to crane that car as soon as possible and get it off the circuit.
And Ronan, this is a tough time for a driver because you're stuck in the cockpit. It's hot. There's nothing you can do. You can maybe talk to your engineer, but all the adrenaline's still flowing. You kind of want to keep that going because you don't want to have to build it up again. But there's really not a lot you can do. You're strapped in. It's hot, and you're just sat there on the grid.
Yeah, exactly. It's certainly one of those things you got to sit there and sort of review the what's happened to date, and maybe think of some things that you can maybe try or do differently to use when the restart happens. But yeah, looking down at the times there, it's certainly those last couple of laps. Justin Allen was quick, and so was Chris White. So those guys certainly have something at the moment that everyone else is trying to chase. So we see there that pretty sorry-looking 42 car of Simon Hunter, but I'm sure the Race Lab team will do everything they can to try and get it back out for the rest of the weekend if that's going to be possible. But I'm sure there'll be a list of things that will need to be looked at before that occurs.
I want to give a little bit more of a shout out to the Right Karts by M2 competition. Pole man, Cooper Barnes, currently in 5th at the restart, he will be anyway. But that was his first pole, and this program that Mark Pilcher from M2 competition has set up is doing its job, just as it should, which is finding talent in karting and then bringing them to 86. And the hope is, or at least Mark's hope is, that eventually he'll get one to graduate and then go on to race in the Toyota Series in TRS. So let's head down to Greg Rust.
Jonathan, we're actually back on the grid. As you can see, the cars all queued up while the great work is being done here by the Southland Sports Car Club and the organisers of the Next Gen NZ Championships. So in the meantime, we might have a little word with Chris White Jr. just on the state of play so far for you. Car's been good this weekend here, hasn't it?
We struggled a little bit in practice, but the boys definitely tuned the car up overnight, so I can't thank them enough at James Marshall. Gave me an awesome qualifying car to get to P3. Then from the start here in this race, we're able to capitalise early and get some early spots, but a bit hard to tell where the car is in the race at the moment as the red flag came out just as I got to the lead. But hopefully when the incident's cleared up, we can get back into it and see how much speed the beast has got.
As we wandered onto the grid here, you were involved in quite a long conversation on the radio. So what did the James Marshall team tell you in this moment? Obviously, we get a whole reset here. Things cool down again before we hopefully get going.
Sort of to keep a clear head, just keep doing what we're doing in the race really. Like we obviously got to the lead, got some good car pace, so just try not to burn it up too fast and see if we can push on and get the race win.
There he is. Great story too as we wander down the grid here. He's of course benefited, Chris White Jr., from the Tony Quinn Foundation. Good story has come out of Mazda competition and that graduation. The Mazdas are actually lining up on the dummy grid here just behind us, getting set for the next race in fact. And some of the competitors that are graduating or talking about graduating to 86 are finding that it's a nice pathway. Some of the learnings that they get from the Mazda series help here. Now, here's Alan's son, as I'm told where to call you. How's it all going?
Jeez. Oh, I think you've been talking to somebody, haven't you? No, oh look, it's a nice clean race so far, at least on our end. So I got a good jump and then didn't quite have the car, so I let Chris go there. So hopefully we can stay where we are.
You're an experienced campaigner. You know what these sort of moments are like at the present. We understand some of the crews over there are rightly working hard to restore that tyre wall and so on. So things cool down from a car standpoint. What do you do? Is it a matter of chilling out, talking to the crew? What do you sort of do at these points?
Oh, absolutely. For me, I drive a lot better when I'm a relaxed guy. So at the end of the day, at the moment, I'm just chilling, relaxing, having a bit of a laugh actually with the crew about various things that, conspiracy theories, whatever we need to talk about just to stay out of anything. So no, we're just having a laugh, having a good play.
You enjoy this series. You've come from the previous gen car to the new one. How much have you enjoyed that? How big a step up has it been? And have the learnings from the older car applied here, or has it been a bit of a cleaner sheet of paper and starting again in some respects?
It was, I felt definitely Taupo was a cleaner sheet of paper, but coming down, going back to Hampton, then coming down here, it's felt like sort of similar to the old car, which has been quite nice for me. So it's been a good step in the right direction for the team. So happy days.
Just before we let you go, Teretonga Park, classic old school venue, great place from an historical standpoint. What's it like to drive it in an 86?
Oh, over all these years, like the first time I came down here was 2019 with the old car, so it shows how long I've been doing this series, and that was my first podium actually. And I hold that in very high regards. So yeah, got some good memories here.
Okay. We're being told to clear the grid. We'll leave Justin Allen to it. Let's take you back to your commentators. Ronan Murphy alongside Jonathan Green.
Thanks, Greg Rust. Yes, and we are about to get going again. And I was here in 2019 when he got that first podium, and of course his family running him back that day. And don't forget, when we restart this, Ronan, it'll be a rolling start. So that's certainly going to help both Justin Allen and the man leading this race at the moment. There you see him in the yellow and black. Chris White looking for a really good rolling start. It's easier, isn't it, on a rolling start?
Yeah, absolutely. And so 2 laps behind the safety car, and then we'll get going. So the team have done a great job to get the track cleared and repaired and in readiness for this restart. And hey, it's great to see, at the front there as well, a mix of different teams again. We saw the Mackenzie Motorsport cars were really fast at the last round, but at the moment we've got a James Marshall Motorsport car leading the way in Chris White Jr. with a Syndicate Motorsport car there in second, and then 3 Right Karts by M2 competition cars rounding out the top 5 currently, so which was also our pole sitting car of Cooper Barnes. So a good mix of teams up the front there, and good to see so far all those guys putting on a good show, and hopefully from now we can see a clean race and the finish won't be too far away.
I've got to ask you about your brother. He's been struggling of late. Hampton Downs, he was sort of down and out a little bit. And couldn't seem to find the answer, but he's found it here. He topped the times in all practices. Have you had a chance to sort of ask him why?
Yeah, no, he did a great job yesterday and topped all 3 practice sessions. So that was, a really nice thing, and good for his confidence, and good for the team as well. But yeah, obviously today he probably didn't quite put it together as well in the qualifying session. He ended up, so he qualified 6th, still a great result on the 3rd row though, and he's dropped back a couple of positions in this race so far, but he's now got another chance to sort of redeem that with, all those gaps that everyone had built, and all those margins are now whittled back down to nil, and everyone starts again. So particularly for guys like Hugo Allen as well, who's up in, I believe 13th or 14th. Yeah, that's a huge thing for him, and I'm sure his goal will be to try and make the top 10, because if he can do that, he'll be off the front for the race, the reverse grid race tomorrow. So he's still got plenty of time to do it if we get all the remaining laps, but obviously the further up the field you go, the faster the cars get and the harder it becomes. So he's got a little bit of work to do, the championship leader, but up ahead in the front is the number 88 car, the Tony Quinn Foundation supported car of Chris White Jr.
Yep, and he'll have the best opportunity to get the jump on the rest of the field. Justin Allen chilling out, discussing conspiracy theories with his team. There it is, Syndicate. And they're talking to NPR. Nice Potter Racing.
Yeah, that's the Syndicate Motorsport team there. Kerry Holland, very experienced in a lot of different championships on the cans to either Mason Potter or Justin Allen down there. But it looks like we'll have one more lap, and I'm sure we'll see the safety car likely peeling in after this.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. And no conspiracy theories here, but Mark Mallard is in the Supra, as is Caleb Nato.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're together or they're just taking turns.
No, I think Alan Sargent is driving the number 107 car with Caleb Nato, and I believe Mark Mallard's driving the 77 car with Ayrton Hodson. So they'll all be in the first race this afternoon, the Somerset GT Series. It would be great to see how the Supras go up against the McLaren of Willie Exton in the GT4 class, and there's plenty of fast Porsches and GT2 Mercedes cars out the front that will be a pleasure to watch them fire around the Temple of Speed, Teretonga Park.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Mark Mallard. He really is enjoying GTs at the moment. Stepping up, of course, from racing with his son in '86, last time out, or last year. Nice view from the drone here as they weave their way around this circuit. 7 laps, so we are basically racing at the moment because the laps are ticking down. So when we go to race, we'll wait for the lights to come out. We'll probably have a sprint of about 6 or 7 laps. So this is going to be an interesting restart and a critical one. I don't know if you know this because you probably haven't run on the Bridgestone and the lights are out, but how are the tyres going to be towards the end of this race?
Yeah, well, it's just going to depend how much heat they lost through sitting there on the grid. Probably not too much because obviously the brakes would have still been really hot, so the cars would have stayed quite warm. But I'm sure we'll see a bit of a flurry, and obviously, like we said, those margins and gaps go back to nil. The safety car lights have been out, and now the safety car's pulling into the pit lane, so we're going to see a restart when those lights go green. Chris White Jr. will be able to lead the field away.
Got about 10 minutes to run and 1 lap plus after that. And away we go. Chris White will lead this field. Justin Allen looks to try and make a move on him early. A few cars jostling out of the line, including the all-white of Lachlan Evanet and Justin Allen with a great move. Can he get around the outside? He's side by side with White.
And Evanet got a great restart. We might have to have another look at that because he's gone from about 6th all the way to 3rd. So he's managed to get round Cameron Hill, get round both the other right cars by M2 competition cars and make his way up. Josh Bethune and Cooper Barnes got a pretty average start because Hayden Backrus has managed to pass them as well. So they're right up there. Cormac Murphy's right in behind them as well. Followed there by Caleb Byers and Emerson Vincent.
Busy year for Lachlan Evanet. He's going back to Australia and he's going to be doing Formula Ford and Trans Am. What a combination. And he's looking to potentially go to the States. He's got a mum from California and a dad from New Zealand. And so
look at that, our championship leader, Hugo Allen. He's trying to go around the outside of a couple of cars down there at the final corner. He's been pushed off the track there by Jet Murray. So the young Aussie's not wanting to give up that position quite easily there to the championship leader. Harry Townsend's just ahead of them there in the Bayswater car. Coming down the front straight, Chris White Jr. still leading the way.
Yeah, Townsend's definitely gained a place or 2. He's up to 11th now. Hugo Allen up to 12th. He's got ahead of Jet Murray and left Blinko and Murray behind. He's now got Townsend on the podium last time out at Hampton. So Harry will be a hard pass. There he is, the number 17, Hugo Allen, the championship leader by 52 points. Bakarus looking to make hay and also in the mix as well. He's up to 5th now behind Cameron Hill. Got ahead of Josh Bethune.
I don't think that really worked for Allen. He actually lost a spot to Blinko. He was got caught on the outside there, so he's going to have to regroup and have another crack. But as we go back to the front there, Justin Allen still chasing hard after Chris White Jr. Lachlan Evanet, there's a bit of space, bit of clear air between Allen and Evanet. So again, Chris White Jr. and Justin Allen have managed to just pull a bit of a gap on the rest of the field as they drive away up the front straight. All the cars now putting the power down. It's Hugo Allen again, he's all over Zach Blinko, trying to get back up the inside there. Pull back in behind them in the draft.
Perfect conditions for racing as we sit high above this famous Teretonga circuit they've been using since 1957. Justin Allen diving into turn 1 again. He's got White in his sights, but they're trying to drop the third place man, Evanet, who had a brilliant restart. No word if it wasn't too brilliant, but I think it was spot on, to be honest. And Lachlan Evanet of Australia. So his dad was losing. Of course he's Australian.
Yeah, and currently at the moment, it's you know, another one to put in the spotlight a little bit is Emerson Vincent there in 10th. So he's in that 10th, that coveted 10th place position for the first race, which would put him on the pole for tomorrow's race. Caleb Byers there in 9th, so he'd be off the front row as well. Cormac Murphy there in 8th, just ahead of them.
Second start for him if he can stay there. Yeah, good point. So yeah, all eyes on both the lead and that top 10, which will be a reverse top 10 start for race 2. 3 races in all, feature race slightly longer at the end of the day. And a fastest lap by Caleb Byers, a 1:08.2. And Justin Allen sets his fastest lap. Seb Manson watching on. He, of course, racing in the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Series and put some handy times in. His brother also racing.
Oh, and Hugo Allen with the reverse switch move there. I don't think he managed to pull it off, but he tried to have a sell Zach Blinko, the dummy there, a bit going down towards turn 1. It's a hard thing to do. It's a very fast corner. Got to have a lot of commitment going into there, but he managed to certainly get the nose up a little bit to try and have a dip.
So through they file, the laps ticking down, 11 of the 15 gone, and there's nothing between these top 3, and they have pulled a sizable gap of over a second now to the chasing pack, and it's going to be between these 3 for the podium.
Yeah, and Evanet's done a great job to catch up to Justin Allen and Chris White Jr. He's left the right carts by M2 competition cars behind, so young Evanet there, he's doing a great job. As we go back to a replay.
I thought there might be a little bit of contact because Allen's car looked a little bit crushed at the front, and here's why. Rubbin's racing.
Yeah, that's some NASCAR style stuff there.
Yep.
Gave him a bit of a rub, but hey, that's okay. They kept on, didn't lose any positions, nothing really changed too much as Cormac Murphy's actually going up the inside of Cooper Barnes there, so he's just taken the spot, 7th place there, back off Cooper Barnes, the pole sitter. So Barnes just really doesn't seem to have the pace. He's lost quite a few spots now. Considering he started from the pole, he's now back in 8th, so it's a far cry from the pole position where he started the race. As we look back there, Emerson Vincent, good job to get past Caleb Byers there on the exit of turn 1. Harry Townsend's now chasing them down for that 10th position. Jet Murray, Zach Blinko, Hugo Allen there, still in 14th.
Yeah, he's dropped though. He was up to 12th at one point, and as you say, he lost out to Blinko in that tussle, and he's dropped to 14th, and that's bad news because he wants to be at the top 10 to try to save this weekend. It's going from bad to worse for Hugo at the moment.
Yeah, it's certainly not working probably the way he wanted. He got a great start, made a heap of positions off at the start, but he sort of lost a couple now. But certainly there's been a breakaway between the top 3 at the front there, then the next 3 behind them are right in there as well. So it's certainly sort of turning into a bit of a train race. You've got 3-car train in the lead, 3-car train behind, and then the rest of the chasing pack. So
on to the 13th lap then. It's White, Allen, Evanet. That's your top 3. Then comes Cameron Hill, Baccaroos. Up goes Vincent. He's up to 9th now. Caleb Byers down to 10th. Harry Townsend just outside the top 10. He'll want to make one place up if he can, but it's going to be good. Hayden Baccaroos does what Baccaroos does well, which is just remain consistent. I talked to him yesterday. No dramas for him. Likes the circuit. Remembers racing it in Formula 4, but of course this is a completely different kettle of fish. But still doing what you do in 86, which is be consistent. It's no time to be a hero. You just keep getting the points.
Jet Murray ran wide there through turn 2, and he's just dropped the spot to to Zach Blinko. Hugo Allen's now trying to look round the outside there. He's managed to leave it a little bit on the defensive.
Little pockets of racing now throughout this field of 25.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's sort of hurt his momentum a little bit coming down towards the last corner there. Cormac Murphy on the defensive of Cooper Barnes, the pole sitter, and the young gun Emerson Vincent. As we see there, coming onto the front straight again. Trains beginning to form.
Just looking at the top three and seeing that's just 0.6 of a second between them. Lachlan Evanet doing a very good job staying with two very accomplished racers in White and Allen. Allen just calmly going about his business. I think he'll settle for second place, given that Hugo Allen that is in the top 10 at the moment. So big points now for Justin Allen and Chris White.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. As you see there, Jeb Murray, Hugo Allen, Blake Knowles on a train. Blake Knowles, the reigning New Zealand Formula Ford champion there. He's had a bit of a rough start to this championship, but he's working away at it and clearly making some inroads. He's all over the back of the championship leader. Behind them, Dion Pitt and Christina Orr-West down there in 16th and 17th. And Dion Pitt, he's one of the ones, he hasn't really featured much in this race so far. He's clearly struggling a little bit, but as we see there, some contact between Baccaris, Bethune and Hill. So the right karts by M2 competition cars are attacking the Mackenzie car of Hayden Baccaris. Working together as a team.
Well, it's time running out now. There you can see the last lap board is out, and here come your leaders. And it hasn't changed since the restart, except for Evanet getting into third place, and he's held that third place, and they pulled dramatically away by some 4 seconds on Hayden Baccaris, who continues to hold on to fourth ahead of Hill. Bethune, Murphy still 7th, Barnes, the pole man 8th, Vincent 9th, and Caleb Byers, who will start pole if he stays there, is in 10th position at the moment. But this is the final lap. Can anybody make a move, Ronan?
Yeah, it looked actually like there was a car, might have been Harry Townsend up the inside of Caleb Byers there, so he made a great move a little further back, as we see there, coming through the second corner. They're all still driving the wheels off these little cars, trying everything they can to make up as much track position as they possibly can. Coming around second to last corner now. Chris White Jr.'s leading the way, but Justin Allen, he's had a great exit off that third to last corner, and he's doing everything he can. He's put him on the defensive. He's trying to get a good exit.
Yep,
he's going to go for the slipstream.
Yep, here we go. He's going to try and slipstream into the line. There's the checkered flag, but it's going to be Chris White. He's made an immaculate run at this after the restart. He took the lead. Now he's flashing the lights. Allen's going to be close, but he's not going to win. It's going to be Chris White ahead of Allen, and Evanet takes third. Here comes the battle for fourth. Boy, it is. It's a battle. Wow. 3 of them are blanket across them. Brilliant stuff. And let's take a look at who ended up in the top 10. Good run for Cormac Murphy. He does take 7th, but it's Baccaris 4th, Bethune 5th, Cameron Hill 6th, Murphy 7th, then Barnes, Vincent, and the top 10 rounded out. Harry Townsend got into that top 10. He'll be delighted with that. Starts pole.
Oh, absolutely, and that was pretty critical at the end there, but great driving from Chris White Jr.
Car confirmation then, Chris White with the win ahead of Justin Allen. Lachlan Evanet of Australia, Hayden Baccaris 4th, then Bethune, Cameron Hill 6th, Cormac Murphy in 7th, Cooper Barnes, Emerson, Vincent, then Harry Townsend rounding out the top 10, Caleb Byers just beaten there in the last moment, and then Zach Blinko, Jet Murray. Hugo Allen, our championship leader, did get up to 14th. Dion Pitt returns to the championship in 15th. Blake Knowles, the Formula Ford champion in 16th. Christina Orr-West, Mason Potter, AJ Giddy, Thomas Mallard, and Will Morton. Further down, Arthur Braun, Raymond Mallon, Hayden Lyons, and Simon Hunter in that big crash in the 42, but he's okay. Well, plenty of highlights to look at, and from the get-go, Justin Allen meant business. He put headlights on before we even started, and sure enough, he dived into the whole shot lead ahead of the man who had the pole, Cooper Barnes, his first ever in road racing. A few dusts swirling up, a few bits of dust flying everywhere, and then Mallard went a little bit of grass tracking. That was a big moment. His dad won't have liked that much, but the bigger moment was to come. 42, and a nasty, very fast off for Mr. Hunter, and yeah. So out of the race he went. At the restart, Chris White did a really good job, but look at Evanet in the all-white car coming from, what, 5th? All the way up to 3rd place at the restart, and then he would hold that 3rd place. Justin Allen had a nose in front, and while the rest had their picnics, it was no picnic for Chris White. He was under pressure. Gets a hit from behind, and there was bumping and bashing all through the field, but it was good, clean racing all the same. And Chris White did what he does best and held on and managed to even flash his lights over the line to take victory here in race 1 at Teretonga.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting to see. They may have to end up taking a look at that, what happened there with Lachlan Evanet, because either everybody else was completely asleep and he got an unbelievable restart, or maybe there was something to look at there, because he certainly passed a lot of cars on that restart.
Let's head down to Steve McGuire.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, congratulations, Chris White Jr., your first win in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. With a lot going on, how satisfying is that?
Oh, it means so much. Like, Tony Quinn and Pack and Sale have been putting so much faith in me to deliver, so it's awesome to be able to do it in race one. I can't thank James Marshall, the crew, enough. They've given me an absolute rapid car. If it was a bit fortunate for the red flag, but we're still able to push on after then and lead from there on, so I just can't thank all the boys enough for what they've done.
Mate, it was a great watch. Well done.
Thank you.
Justin Allen, it was all over you because I know he's got a little bit of a bump on this. Oh, yes, the old Nappa's taken a little bit of a nudge, but you'd be a little disappointed. You had a chance to move to P2 in the standings there, but it was a hell of a race.
Oh, it's a hell of a race. I'll take good points at the end of the day. I accidentally made a mistake and bumped him into one, but other than that, the car wasn't actually too bad. It was better after the restart than it was before, so that was quite surprising. So, tune her up a little bit for tomorrow, but thanks to Napa Fielding Auto Electrical. Got to say hi to the kids at home as well.
Nice job, mate.
Thank you.
And in P3, Lachlan Evanett, the young Australian boy who's, well, P8 to, come over here, mate, don't run away. P8 to P3, that's a hell of an effort.
Oh, I can't believe it. I don't know what to say, to be honest. It was just unorthodox. I didn't expect it after the red flag came out. And I was kind of sad because I got in a really good rhythm before. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I'll come back. And I came back and I got a good start. They all congested and they went past control line, so I just gunned it. Brett on my radio said green, green, and I just went foot to the floor. But no, it was a really good result. I'm so happy.
I can tell. Go and enjoy the podium.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right, time for the podium. Race 1, round 3 here at Teretonga Park in Invercargill. It's race 1 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Trophies today will be presented by Pete Garden, Bridgestone sales manager in the South Island. And in third position, Lachlan Evanett. In second position, Justin Allen. And in first position, earning his very first race win in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, Chris White Jr. And that's your official podium for race 1 here in Teretonga Park in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. But the racing doesn't stop. Here we go. More racing this time in the Nexan Mazda Racing Series.